Tyler Hayes, 38, is a brilliant software CEO in Austin, known for his wit, wealth, and a heart hollowed by one college breakup he never got over. One Saturday, while walking past a cheerful suburban bake sale, a bold little girl with fiery curls offers him a cookie. Then she shouts, "Daddy!" The word stops him cold. The girl, Ruby, is only 9, but her eyes mirror his, and her name sends his past crashing back. Lisa, his first love, disappeared from his life a decade ago. Now Tyler's carefully coded world begins to unravel. Why didn't he know about Ruby? Why would Lisa hide her? As Tyler digs deeper, he uncovers a betrayal that cuts close. His own brother, Mark, forged an email to drive Lisa away and steal company shares. The lie cost him a family he never knew he had. Determined to make things right, Tyler skips a major product launch just to support Ruby's bake sale. He funds a community bakery for kids and trades investor calls for measuring cups. At the center of it all is Ruby, brave, brilliant, and handing him her burnt cookie like it's gold. Can this unlikely trio, tech mogul, guarded ex, and bold little baker, rebuild what was lost? One taste, one word, 1 second chance. Subscribe to see this heartfelt story unfold. Tyler Hayes hadn't meant to slow down. He was a man of momentum, 38, sharp, charming, the kind of tech CEO who could walk into a pitch meeting and rewrite the code of a dying company with a single phrase. But that Saturday, with Austin's heat softening into spring warmth, he found himself stalled at a suburban intersection. It was the color that caught him first. Bright pink banners, hand-drawn signs that read, "Support the bake sale," and "Cookies for kids." Then came the smell. Sweet, buttery, honest. The kind of scent that didn't come from a grocery aisle. Tyler rolled down the window. Maybe he just needed sugar, or something that didn't require a login. He parked, stepped out in tailored jeans and sunglasses that cost more than the entire folding table display. Kids buzzed around like bees, paper hats crooked, icing smudged on their cheeks. Then, her. 9 years old, hair in 2 messy braids, standing behind a row of mismatched Tupperware trays. She looked up, bright-eyed. "Hi, mister. You want a cookie?" Before Tyler could answer, she thrust one forward. It was slightly burnt around the edges. He smiled, surprised. "Did you make this?" "I helped, but this one's special. It's mine." He reached for his wallet. "How much?" The girl squinted. "You don't remember me, do you?" Tyler blinked. "Should I?" She stepped closer, voice strong now. "I'm Ruby." A pause, then, clear as day, "Daddy." The word hit him like glass cracking. Laughter behind him froze. Someone dropped a tray of cupcakes. Tyler stared, the cookie still hovering between them. "What did you say?" She looked nervous now, but didn't back down. "You're Tyler Hayes, right? From the condo building downtown? I've seen your face on Mommy's old laptop." He nodded slowly, mind racing. "Your mom, what's her name?" "Lisa," Ruby said, then added, as if it explained everything, "She's the best at cinnamon rolls." Lisa. That name hadn't slipped into his life in nearly a decade. College. His first real love. The one he left behind when his company took off and his brother said she didn't want a family man, that she was better off. He glanced at the cookie in his hand, the burnt edge curling like an old regret. "Where is she now?" Ruby grinned, unfazed. "At home. I told her to rest. I said, 'I got this.'" Then she grabbed a napkin and shoved the cookie into his palm. "You should try it, even if it's a little crispy." Tyler barely noticed the other kids now. "You really think I'm your—" But Ruby had already turned to another customer. "3 for $1, 2 if you're cute." Tyler walked away, the cookie still warm in his hand. He didn't eat it, not yet. Instead, he sat in his car, staring at it, burnt, imperfect, but hers. That evening, The silence of his condo felt sharper. He stood at the floor-to-ceiling window, Austin's skyline glowing like circuitry, and thought of Lisa. Her laugh, the notebook doodles she used to leave in his old dorm room, the fight, the slammed door, and Mark, his brother. The last time they'd spoken about Lisa, Mark had looked him dead in the eye and said, "She doesn't want kids. She told me. Said you'd ruin her life if you stayed." Tyler believed him. Too easily. He checked his old email archive, scrolling back to that year. There it was, Lisa's message, short, cold, or so it had seemed, but the date didn't line up. Tyler narrowed his eyes. The headers, the timestamps, something was off. He picked up his phone. "Call Mark." The line rang once, twice, then, "Tyler, you okay? Did you ever talk to Lisa after I left school?" A pause, then a chuckle. "Wow, that's a name? Blast from the past." Tyler's voice was flat. "Did you send her an email from my account?" Longer pause. "What are you talking about?" "I mean it, Mark. Did you tell her I didn't want a family? That I hated the idea of kids?" Silence. Then the faintest sigh. "You were about to blow your shot, Ty. I was trying to help." Tyler's grip on the phone tightened. "You lied. You built a billion-dollar company. You're welcome." He hung up. The next morning, Tyler drove back to the bake sale. Ruby was there again, wearing a paper chef hat that kept sliding down. "Hey," she waved. "You came back." "I want more cookies." "How many?" "All of them." Ruby's eyes widened. "All?" Tyler smiled. "I've got meetings to crash. Might as well bring snacks." She handed him a half-crushed box. "Careful. Mine are kinda crispy." He bit into one this time. The edge was burnt. The center was soft, just like the chance he never took. "Hey, Ruby?" he asked. "Yeah?" He crouched to her height. "Would you tell your mom I'd like to see her?" Ruby tilted her head, considering. "Only if you don't make her cry." "I won't," Tyler whispered. "Not again." She nodded, serious as a judge. Then she handed him one last cookie, shaped like a heart, half-melted chocolate chips, one side too dark. "My favorite," she said. "It's kinda ruined, but it still tastes good." Tyler held it like it mattered. Because it did. Tyler stood outside a modest blue house with chipped paint and a crooked mailbox that read, "The Harpers." Ruby's house. He wasn't sure what he expected. Maybe something louder, flashier, more like the Lisa he remembered. But this? This was quiet. Lived in. Real. He raised his hand to knock, but froze when he heard laughter. Light, muffled. A girl's voice and a woman's. Then the door creaked open. Lisa stood there, apron dusted with flour, a smudge on her cheek, hair pulled into a lazy bun. She blinked twice before speaking. "Tyler?" He managed a dry smile. "Hey!" Lisa didn't open the door any wider. Her body blocked the frame, protective. "What are you doing here?" "Ruby said you made the best cinnamon rolls in Austin," he said, trying lightness. "I figured I'd test that." "Is that all?" Tyler's smile faded. "No. Can we talk?" Lisa looked back into the house and stepped outside, closing the door behind her. 10 years, Tyler. Not a word. And now you're showing up with bakery compliments? "I didn't know." Her eyes narrowed. "Didn't know what?" He lowered his voice. "That I had a daughter." Lisa's face hardened. "She's not a secret. You made your choice." "No," Tyler said. "I made a choice based on lies." He pulled out his phone, opened an old email, and held it up. "I checked the metadata. This wasn't from you. My brother wrote it." Lisa took a step back, jaw clenching. "What?" "He forged it," Tyler said. "The one that said you never wanted kids, that you were leaving for good." Lisa's arms folded tightly. "Mark." "Always had a problem with me. He wanted my shares. Said I couldn't run a company and be a father." Lisa's voice shook. "So, what? He decided for you, and you didn't even question it?" I was young, stupid. I believed the worst at the worst moment. Lisa looked away. Ruby asked me once why her dad didn't want her. I said maybe he didn't know she existed. She was right. Lisa's eyes filled, but she blinked fast. Don't do this, Tyler. Don't stir things up just to disappear again. I'm not here for guilt, he said softly. I'm here because she called me Daddy, and it didn't feel wrong. The door opened. Ruby peeked out, holding a crumpled drawing. Mom, I made something. She stopped when she saw Tyler. Oh, you stayed. Lisa sighed. Inside, Ruby. We're talking. Ruby pouted. But I drew us. Look. She ran out before Lisa could stop her, thrusting the picture forward. A shaky crayon sketch, 3 figures. Lisa, Ruby, and Tyler holding a cookie. I gave you hair like mine, Ruby said proudly. Lisa softened. Ruby? It's okay, Tyler said, kneeling to Ruby's level. You're quite the artist. Ruby beamed. I'm saving it for the fridge. That's where real family stuff goes. Lisa swallowed hard. Go hang it up, sweet pea. Ruby ran back in. The door shut again. Silence fell. I didn't come to take over, Tyler said. I just want to know her, to make up for what I missed. Lisa's voice dropped. She doesn't need a project or a guilt trip. She needs someone who knows the difference between a burnt cookie and a second chance. Lisa looked up, startled. Tyler smiled faintly. Yours always burned around the edges. A laugh escaped her, just a small one. Then she caught herself. I'm still not sure I trust you. I wouldn't either. She hesitated, then opened the door. You can come in for 5 minutes. Inside, the house smelled like cinnamon and vanilla. Drawings covered the fridge. A tiny whisk hung on a hook at Ruby's height. Tyler noticed a photo on the wall, Lisa holding a newborn, smiling, alone. She was small, he said quietly. Lisa nodded. 6 pounds. Cried like a siren. Wouldn't sleep unless she was held. She looks like you, Tyler said. Lisa looked over. She has your stubborn eyebrows. Ruby popped her head around the corner. Want to see my baking kit? Of course, Tyler said, following her to the kitchen. She pulled out a lopsided mixing bowl and a wooden spoon with glitter glue on the handle. This one's mine. I used it for your cookie. The one with the burnt edge? Yup, she grinned. Those are the best. They're crunchy and soft, like surprises. Tyler chuckled. You're right. Lisa watched from the hallway, arms crossed, something shifting in her eyes. When he left that afternoon, Ruby chased him down the driveway. Are you coming back? Tyler knelt. Do you want me to? She nodded. Only if you bring more jokes, and maybe help me bake? Tyler's throat tightened. I'd like that. Ruby threw her arms around him. Bye, Daddy. The word didn't shock him this time. It landed like a promise. Tyler turned back once at the car. Lisa stood in the doorway, arms still crossed, but her lips, they were almost smiling. Tyler paced the gleaming floor of his Austin condo, the sound of his footsteps echoing through the vast, spotless space. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlooked the skyline, but the view felt cold, empty. On the granite counter sat Ruby's drawing. 3 stick figures, one labeled Dad, holding a cookie. The edges had curled slightly overnight. He hadn't thrown it away. He couldn't. Tyler opened the fridge. Nothing but sparkling water, protein bars, and takeout containers. He shut it, sighed, and grabbed his keys. Outside, he bypassed his usual Tesla and took the older truck he rarely used. Something about the hum of that engine felt closer to the person he used to be. When he pulled onto Ruby's street, the bake sale was back. Smaller today. A few folding tables, a lemonade stand, a banner reading, "We bake to build," with glitter letters peeling in the breeze. And there she was, Ruby, standing on a crate, arms wide, shouting like a carnival barker. Come one! Come all! Get cookies with character. Tyler laughed, walking up. She spotted him and beamed. Daddy's back. Several heads turned. Lisa, from behind the table, looked up sharply. Ruby ran to him. We're raising money for the community center kitchen. Want to help? He crouched. Absolutely. But I want your cookie, the crunchy kind. Ruby grinned. Burnt it just for you. Lisa approached, wiping her hands on a towel. You really didn't have to come. Tyler stood. Maybe I wanted to. Lisa looked tired, beautiful, guarded. We're trying to raise money so the kids can keep baking, she explained. They want to host a summer camp in the kitchen. Tyler looked around. You organized this? Ruby pushed for it, Lisa admitted. She said if she could sell 20 cookies, maybe the world would taste better. Ruby leaned against Tyler's side. Mom's the brains. I'm the flavor. He chuckled. You're definitely something. Lisa softened. She's happier since you came by. That's good, Tyler said quietly, because I'm not leaving again. Lisa's smile faded. It's not that simple. Tyler reached into his pocket and pulled out a folded envelope. This is for the bake sale. Lisa hesitated. Tyler... He pressed it into her hand. It's not charity. It's back pay. 9 years of burnt cookies. Ruby gasped. Are you rich? Lisa opened it, jaw tightening. This is too much. It's what it takes, Tyler said. Let them bake. Just then, a van pulled up across the street. Kids in aprons spilled out, squealing. A flustered coordinator followed, shouting instructions. One boy dropped a tray. Another tripped. Lisa sighed. That's our chaos. Tyler smiled. I like chaos. Ruby tugged his arm. Want to see the secret ingredient? Lead the way, chef. She took his hand and dragged him to a small folding table. We mix all the good stuff. Sugar, vanilla, a pinch of sass. But this... She pulled out a tiny, heart-shaped locket from a box. This is our magic. Tyler blinked. A necklace? It was Grandma's, she said. Mom wears it when she bakes. She says it brings love. Lisa walked up behind them, her voice low. I gave it to Ruby last year. Said it reminded me who we bake for. Tyler looked at the locket, then at Lisa. May I? He asked. Ruby nodded, handing it to him. Tyler held it gently, feeling its weight. It's warm. It always is, Ruby whispered, even when the cookies flop. He knelt beside her. Thanks for sharing it with me. Ruby's eyes sparkled. You're sharing you. It's fair. Later, as the sun dipped low, the tables emptied. Kids loaded the last of the trays. Lisa tallied earnings in a notebook. Tyler stood beside her. You raised a lot. She nodded. Still need more, but they feel proud. You ever think about making it bigger? Asked. Like a real place? A kid's bakery? Lisa blinked. We can't afford permits, rent, staff. I'm not talking about money, Tyler said. I mean, a dream. She looked down. I stopped dreaming for me a long time ago. Tyler's voice was steady. Then dream for her. He gestured toward Ruby, who was dancing in a circle with a frosting bag like it was a microphone. Lisa watched, her eyes softening. She's everything. Tyler said quietly, She's us. Lisa turned toward him. I don't know if I can trust this. Trust you. I don't blame you, he said, but I'm still here. She studied him for a long time. Stay for dinner. He blinked. What? Ruby will ask anyway, Lisa said, half smiling. Might as well accept before she tackles you. He nodded slowly. I'd like that. As the sky turned violet, Tyler sat on their porch. Ruby curled against his side, a cookie in her hand. Burnt, slightly crumbled. She held it up. Still the best? Tyler took a bite and smiled. Better than perfect. The next morning, Tyler stood barefoot in his kitchen, coffee steaming in one hand, Ruby's drawing still pinned to his fridge. His condo, once sleek and silent, felt different now. Too clean, too quiet. He stared at the sketch, the crooked cookie in his stick figure hand. She'd drawn herself taller this time. He smiled. Then his phone buzzed. A reminder. Product launch in 4 days. Review team briefs at 9. Tyler swiped it away. Instead, he called Lisa. "Hey," she answered, cautious. "Is Ruby up?" "Barely. She's eating cereal with marshmallows she picked out herself." Tyler chuckled. "Tell her I was wondering if my cookie apprentice is free this afternoon." A pause. She'd like that. That afternoon, Ruby burst into the condo like sunshine on polished marble. She carried a Ziploc bag full of cookie cutters and 2 spatulas taped together like a sword. "Where's your oven?" Tyler pointed to the gleaming stainless steel appliance. "Right there." Ruby squinted. "Does it even work?" Tyler blinked. "I think so?" She groaned. "Dads. Always tech. Never cookies." She dragged a chair over, climbed up, and set to work like she owned the place. Tyler watched her, amused. "So, what are we baking?" "Hope," she said seriously. "And maybe snickerdoodles." They mixed, laughed, made a mess. Tyler cracked an egg with one hand and dropped the shell into the flour. Ruby gasped. "You ruined it." "I was trying to be cool." "You're not Gordon Ramsay. You're Gordon Disaster." He laughed. He couldn't remember the last time he'd laughed like that. Then the buzzer rang. The first batch was ready. Ruby opened the oven with drama, like unveiling art. The smell hit Tyler. Sweet, warm, familiar. She handed him one. "This one's yours." Burnt around the edges, just how he liked it. He took a bite, closed his eyes. Ruby watched him. "Good?" He opened his eyes, voice soft. "Best thing I've had in years." She beamed. "Told ya." Later, after dishes were piled high and Ruby had fallen asleep on the couch with flour on her cheek, Lisa arrived to pick her up. She paused in the doorway, watching the scene. Tyler gently brushed a strand of hair from Ruby's face. Then he noticed Lisa and straightened, awkward. "She's out cold." Lisa nodded. "She does that when she's safe." He glanced at her. "That mean I passed the test?" Lisa smiled faintly. Maybe. They stood there a moment longer, the only sound the hum of the dishwasher. Then Lisa asked, "Why are you really doing this, Tyler?" "Because I can't go back," he said, "but I can show up now." She looked down. She's never called anyone that before, not even my dad, not even by accident. Tyler's voice cracked. "She said it like she meant it." Lisa nodded. "She did." He swallowed. "You think I deserve that?" "I think," Lisa said quietly, "you're starting to." Before she left, Ruby stirred, sleepy-eyed. "Mom?" Lisa knelt beside her. "Time to go, sweet pea." Ruby turned to Tyler. "Thanks for baking with me." He smiled. "Thanks for teaching me." She handed him something before she left. A crumpled paper towel, folded. Inside was a single cookie. Burnt, bent, half broken. "For later," she mumbled, "when it's quiet again." Then she curled into Lisa's shoulder and was gone. Tyler closed the door behind them, then sat on the couch holding the wrapped cookie. He didn't eat it, he just held it, like a promise, like a future. And this time, he didn't let go. Tyler sat at his condo's kitchen table, the one that used to hold tech blueprints and launch plans. Now it held something smaller. Ruby's crumpled paper towel, carefully refolded, still hiding the burnt cookie she gave him. He hadn't eaten it, couldn't. Instead, he stared at it like it held the answer to everything he couldn't say out loud. His phone buzzed. Mark. Tyler let it ring. He wasn't ready. Not yet. Instead, he texted Lisa. "Can I pick Ruby up from school tomorrow, just for ice cream?" A few minutes passed. Then the reply came, "Yes, be there at 3:10. Don't be late." Tyler smiled. The next day, he waited outside the red brick elementary, awkward among the SUVs and minivans. Kids poured out the doors, backpacks bouncing, laughter filling the air. And then, Ruby. She spotted him and sprinted. "You came!" Tyler opened his arms. "I said I would." She flung her backpack onto his shoulder and grabbed his hand. "I want mint chip, with extra chips. And don't say no, because I am your daughter." He froze. She didn't even blink. "Is that okay?" she asked, suddenly unsure. He knelt, heart tight. "Yeah, Ruby, that's more than okay." They sat outside the ice cream shop, her legs swinging, green ice cream smudging her nose. She looked up. "So, why'd you leave Mommy back then?" Tyler blinked. "That's a big question." She shrugged. "I'm a big girl." He took a breath. "I thought she didn't want me. I thought she was done." Ruby tilted her head. "But did she say that?" "No, someone else did." Ruby frowned. "That's silly. You should ask the person who lives the truth, not just someone standing near it." Tyler stared at her. "You sound like your mom." "She says that too," Ruby giggled. "Especially when I mess up and try to blame the cat." They laughed, the sound easy, new. Ruby pulled something from her pocket, a folded index card with scribbles. "What's this?" Tyler asked. "My plan," she said proudly. "For our bakery." He blinked. "Our bakery?" "Yeah, me, Mommy, you. We can call it 3 Chips and a Chance, or maybe Burnt But Beautiful." Tyler laughed, eyes stinging. "I love that." Ruby leaned in. "I don't want to lose this." He looked at her. "Lose what?" "This," she said softly. "Us." Tyler's voice was steady. "You won't." That night he walked her back to Lisa's. They reached the porch just as Lisa opened the door. She smiled at Ruby. "Did you get her sugared up?" "Only mildly," Tyler said. Ruby ran inside, yelling, "Mom, I told him about the bakery, and he didn't laugh." Lisa raised a brow. "You're brave." Tyler chuckled. "She's got vision." Lisa crossed her arms. "You know this can't be perfect, right?" "I'm not aiming for perfect," Tyler said. "I just don't want to disappear." She studied him. "She's attaching fast. If this turns messy—" "It won't," he said. "I'll take care of her." Lisa's voice dropped. "Then talk to your brother." Tyler looked down. "You're still avoiding it," she added. "But if you want a future here, you have to confront the past." He nodded. "You're right." Lisa paused, then softened. "You're showing up, Tyler. I see that." As he turned to go, Ruby burst out again, waving something. "Wait! I made you a gift!" She handed him a tiny clay cookie, lopsided, with glitter pressed into the top. Tyler held it like treasure. "It's our new logo," Ruby said, "because even mistakes can sparkle." He laughed. "That's our tagline now." Lisa smiled from the doorway. "See you soon?" Tyler met her eyes. "Count on it." Back home, he set the glitter cookie beside the real one still wrapped on his counter. One hard, one soft. Both symbols of something broken, but still beautiful. And for the first time in years, Tyler Hayes felt like maybe, just maybe, he wasn't empty anymore. Tyler stood outside Mark's glass-walled office, heart thudding beneath his tailored blazer. Inside, his brother leaned back in a leather chair, tossing a stress ball like he owned the sky. He hadn't changed. Tyler knocked once, then walked in without waiting. Mark glanced up. "Well, look who's back from the bake sale." Tyler didn't smile. "We need to talk." Mark tossed the ball onto the desk. "That serious, huh?" Tyler pulled out his phone, opened the email, and slid it across the glass. "Explain this." Mark didn't even look surprised. "You're still hung up on that?" Tyler's voice dropped. "You forged her name. You wrote it like she was walking away." Mark leaned forward, tone casual. "You were distracted. Obsessed with her. I did what needed to be done. You lied. I protected you," Mark said, "from losing everything." "I lost everything," Tyler snapped. "Lisa, Ruby, 9 years of their life." Mark rolled his eyes. "You didn't even know about the kid." "That's the point." Mark stood, trying charm. "Come on, Ty. You're a billionaire CEO. You don't need a kid or a bakery or a woman who sells muffins on the weekends. Tyler stepped closer. She's not just a woman. She's the one person who loved me before I had anything. Mark's voice chilled. So, what now? You tank the launch? Walk away from the board to play house? Tyler didn't blink. If that's what it takes, Mark scoffed. You're insane. No, Tyler said, quiet now. I'm finally awake. Later that evening, Tyler sat with Lisa on her back steps. The sky was lavender, and Ruby was inside frosting lopsided cupcakes. He handed Lisa the phone. She read the email. Her hands trembled. He faked this? Tyler nodded. He admitted it. Lisa exhaled, eyes glistening. I thought you gave up on me. I never stopped thinking about you, he said. I just believed the wrong voice. Lisa looked away. I was scared. I didn't want Ruby to grow up wondering if she mattered. You gave her more love than I ever deserved, Tyler said softly. She still asks about you, you know. She watches the oven and says, think Dad would like this one? Tyler's voice cracked. Every single one. Lisa held up the old locket Ruby had shown him. I almost sold this once. Rent was overdue, groceries were tight, but every time I touched it, I thought of you, of who you were before Mark got in your head. He reached out, gently took it from her palm. Then let this mean something again, he said. Not for me, for Ruby. Lisa looked at him for a long time. Then, quietly, what are you willing to do? Tyler's answer came fast. Everything. Inside, Ruby peeked out. Are you guys done being grown-ups? Lisa laughed. Almost, baby. Ruby held up a tray. Look what I made, Dad. Tyler stood, walked over, and took one. Burnt edges. A swirl of pink frosting. Glitter. He bit into it. Tears filled his eyes. Lisa saw, but didn't speak. Ruby smiled. Still the best? Tyler whispered, always. That night, after Ruby went to bed, Lisa sat with Tyler in the quiet. You're not the same guy I knew in college? No, he said. I'm not. She reached for his hand. That's not a bad thing. He turned toward her. I want to be in her life, Lisa. For real. I want to help build the bakery, teach her how to fail and still laugh, show up for the parent-teacher nights. And what about your company? He paused. I've built enough code to last a lifetime. But Ruby, she's the one thing I can't program. I have to earn her. Lisa smiled. You're getting there. He looked down at the glitter cookie Ruby had left on the counter, broken in one corner, still shining. And in his heart, something old and empty finally felt full. Tyler parked outside Lisa's house just after sunrise, a tray of warm muffins on the seat beside him, banana walnut, Ruby's favorite. He knocked softly. A moment later, Lisa opened the door in pajama pants and a hoodie, hair still damp from the shower. You're early, she said, surprised. Tyler smiled. I missed her. Figured I'd bring breakfast. Lisa stepped aside. She's finishing homework. Come in. Inside, the house smelled like lavender and maple syrup. Ruby sat at the table, tongue poked out, scribbling in a workbook. When she looked up, her face lit up. Dad! Tyler melted at the word. He set the tray down and ruffled her hair. Extra crunchy on top. Just how you like it. Ruby grinned. You remembered. Lisa poured coffee. She talks about you in school now. Drew you in art class. You were holding a spatula and a phone. Tyler laughed. That's accurate. Ruby stood suddenly. Want to see something? She ran to her room and returned with a shoebox. Inside were cookies. Tiny, cracked, uneven, each one wrapped in a napkin with a note. I call them Dad Days. One for every day I don't see you, so I never forget the flavor. Tyler's throat closed. He picked one up, slightly burnt, still warm from memory. He looked at Lisa. Her eyes shimmered. Ruby tugged his sleeve. Can we do the next bake sale together? You, me, and Mom? Tyler glanced at Lisa. Is that okay? Lisa paused, then nodded. If you're really in. I'm all in, Tyler said, and I'll wear an apron. Ruby squealed. Yes, but it has to be pink. They all laughed. Later that week, Tyler showed up every afternoon. He helped Ruby with math, burned a dozen cookies learning to use Lisa's old oven, and took out the trash without being asked. Neighbors started waving when he passed. Kids from the block called him Cookie Dad. One evening, after Ruby fell asleep, Lisa joined Tyler on the porch. I don't know what this is yet, she said, but it's the first time in years I haven't felt alone in it. Tyler reached for her hand. You're not alone anymore. She didn't pull away. Then, as if summoned by fate, his phone buzzed. Mark, the board's asking where you are. You're tanking your own launch. Tyler stared at the message, then turned the phone off. Lisa raised a brow. Everything okay? Tyler nodded. I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. He opened his hand and placed something in her palm. It was Ruby's latest drawing. 3 stick figures in aprons standing behind a bakery stand with a giant cookie logo. Lisa smiled. We're all in it now. He leaned closer. Let's build it. Not just the bakery. Us. She looked at him for a long time, and then, quietly, okay. Inside, Ruby stirred in her sleep, arms wrapped around a teddy bear in a flower-stained apron. And outside, beneath porch light and hope, the past finally began to soften at the edges, like every good cookie does. Tyler sat in the quiet of his condo, Ruby's glitter cookie beside his laptop. His inbox glowed with unread emails, investors, board members, press, all wondering why the face of $1 billion launch had gone dark, but his eyes were fixed on one name. Mark Hayes. He clicked. Attached to the message was a board memo, one Mark had quietly circulated. Concerns about Tyler's stability, personal entanglements interfering with strategic goals. Below it, a motion to invoke a clause allowing Mark temporary leadership during Tyler's hiatus. Tyler exhaled. So that was the game. He picked up his phone and called Lisa. She answered instantly. Ty? I need to show you something, he said. Tonight. Your place. Later that evening, Lisa spread the printed email across the dining table, her eyes sharp with fury. He's trying to replace you? Tyler nodded. While pretending to support my recovery. Lisa's jaw clenched. So it wasn't just keeping Ruby from you. He wanted everything. Tyler looked at her. He's always played chess. I just never thought I was the board. Ruby peeked in from the hallway. Is everything okay? Lisa's voice softened. We're just planning the bakery, sweetheart. Ruby lit up. Did you see my new name idea? She held up a drawing. The burnt batch in a rainbow marker with a cookie wearing sunglasses. Tyler smiled. I love it. She beamed and skipped off. Lisa leaned in. You have to fight him. Tyler nodded. I will, but I need your help. Lisa blinked. Me? You're the only one who saw what he did, who lived the fallout. Lisa hesitated, then nodded. I'll do it, for Ruby. The next morning, Tyler walked into his company's boardroom for the first time in 2 weeks. Mark was already there, flanked by executives. Well, well, Mark said smoothly. The prodigal father returns. Tyler laid a folder on the table. I've uncovered proof that you falsified personal correspondence 10 years ago, undermining company governance by manipulating a partner. Gasps rose around the room. Mark stood. You're bluffing. I'm not. Tyler turned to the board. I've asked Lisa Harper to testify. She'll join by video in 5 minutes. I also have metadata from the forged email and internal memos suggesting Mark planned this handoff for months. A board member spoke. Mr. Hayes, this is serious. Mark scoffed. You're going to believe a woman who bakes cookies for kids over your CFO? Tyler's voice was calm. I'd believe a child's burnt cookie before I trust you again. The room fell silent. 5 minutes later, Lisa's face appeared on the screen. Her voice was clear, unshaken. She told the truth. From the first forged message, to the decade of silence, to the day Ruby shouted, "Daddy!" By the end, no one spoke. Tyler looked around. "I'm stepping away from the next phase of the product rollout. Not because I'm weak, but because I'm finally strong enough to choose what matters." The board voted unanimously. Mark was suspended. Tyler walked out without looking back. That night, he knocked on Lisa's door with a single cupcake in a box. She opened it. Vanilla, with pink frosting and 3 glittery sprinkles on top. Lisa laughed. 3 sprinkles? For us, he said. Me, you, and Ruby. Lisa's eyes softened. So, what now? Tyler grinned. Now, we start burning cookies on purpose. She kissed him, and in the glow of the porch light the past cracked open, just enough for something better to rise. The sign was hand-painted, a little crooked, but it made Tyler smile. The burnt batch. Grand opening Saturday. Come taste our second chances. The building was a modest brick space off Main Street. Once a laundromat, now transformed, with elbow grease, late nights, and way too much glitter from Ruby's creative input. Inside, Lisa wiped the counters, Ruby arranged cookies in uneven rows, and Tyler carried in the last of the chairs. Ruby looked up, proud. "This one's for you, Dad. It has extra crunch." She handed him a cookie shaped like a lightning bolt, edges dark, frosting too thick. He took a bite. "That's the taste of destiny." Lisa rolled her eyes. "Or over-baking by 2 minutes." Ruby shrugged. "Either way, it's love." Tyler looked around the bakery. "Tomorrow's the launch. You ready?" Lisa nodded, then hesitated. "There's something you should know." Tyler turned to her. "What is it?" She pulled out a folded paper, a legal notice. "I got this yesterday," she said. "It's from Mark's lawyer." Tyler's smile faded. "What?" Lisa's voice tightened. "He's filing for temporary guardianship review. Claims your instability affects Ruby's well-being." Tyler felt the room tilt. "He's using her now?" Lisa nodded. "He's not giving up quietly." Tyler steadied his breath. "Then neither will I." That night, he sat with Ruby on the bakery's back step, stars flickering above. She leaned on his shoulder. "Mom says you might have to go to court." "Yeah," he said gently. "But I'll fight. For you, for us." Ruby was quiet, then whispered, "What if they try to take me?" He turned to her, voice firm but kind. "They won't, because we'll stand together." She reached into her pocket and pulled out something small, a new drawing. It showed 3 cookies, one cracked, one golden, one slightly burnt, holding hands. Underneath, it read, "Even crumbs belong." Tyler choked back tears. "You're an artist and a poet." Ruby grinned. "And a CEO. Someday." He laughed. "Better start practicing your pitch." The next day, the bakery filled with families, neighbors, and curious reporters. Tyler stood behind the counter in a pink apron that read, "Batch Boss." Lisa wore hers sideways, trying not to laugh. Ruby wore a chef's hat twice her size. Kids decorated cookies at a side table. Music played softly. Then a reporter approached. "Mr. Hayes, is it true you skipped your company's billion-dollar launch for a bake sale?" Tyler smiled. "It wasn't a bake sale. It was a beginning." She raised a brow. "A beginning of what?" He looked at Lisa, at Ruby, at the messy, glowing life around him. "Of everything that matters." Later that night, after the last customer left and the floor was dusted with flour and glitter, Tyler sat with Lisa on the front step. She leaned into him. "You changed everything, you know." He shook his head. "You and Ruby did that. I just showed up." Lisa rested her head on his shoulder. "That's all we ever wanted." Behind them, the sign flickered under a street lamp. the burnt batch. And inside, on a shelf by the register, Ruby had placed her newest sculpture, a cookie, chipped and glittered, sitting on a stand of gold-painted clay. Underneath, "This is what love looks like after it's been through the fire." The bakery buzzed with after-school chatter, kids frosting cookies, teens giggling over cocoa, neighbors trading stories across sticky tables. Tyler wiped his hands on his pink apron and grinned at the chaos. Behind the counter, Ruby stood on a milk crate, concentrating hard as she piped a shaky heart onto a sugar cookie. Her tongue stuck out just slightly. Lisa watched from a distance, arms crossed, a soft smile on her face. "Dad," Ruby called, "come see." Tyler leaned over. "That's a perfect heart. It's for you and Mom," she said proudly, "because I think we're all kind of baking again." He raised a brow. "Baking?" Ruby nodded. "You and Mom were like flour and water, separated. But now we're adding sugar and heat." Tyler laughed. "You've been listening to too much Food Network." She smirked. "I'm 9. I know everything." A customer waved. Tyler stepped away, took their order, rang them up. The bell above the door jingled again. This time, a woman in a suit walked in, holding a clipboard. "Mr. Hayes?" Tyler turned, cautious. "Yes?" She flashed a badge. "Family Court Liaison. Here on behalf of the guardianship hearing." Lisa approached. "We weren't expecting a visit." The woman smiled politely. "That's the point. Surprise assessment." Tyler steadied himself. "You're welcome to observe." Over the next hour, the liaison watched Tyler roll dough with Ruby, help a child pick the least burnt cookie, and refill napkins while humming along with the radio. Lisa handed her a cupcake. "House special, lemon lavender." She took a bite, then glanced around. "This place is warm." Ruby bounded over. "Want to see our bakery mascot?" "Mascot?" Ruby held up her clay sculpture, the glittery chipped cookie with a hand-painted sign, "Even crumbs belong." The liaison smiled, scribbled a note. "That's beautiful." Tyler knelt beside Ruby. "You made that, huh?" "Yep. Because families aren't always perfect, but they can still be sweet." Lisa and Tyler exchanged a look, something unspoken passing between them. Later, after the liaison left, Tyler stood beside Lisa by the sink. "You think that helped?" he asked. Lisa nodded. She saw the real us. Just then, Ruby rushed over, holding a flyer. "Look, I made a schedule. For shifts, we all get to bake, clean, and taste test." Tyler read it. "You gave yourself all the taste tests." Ruby grinned. "Executive privilege." Lisa laughed. "She's not wrong." They posted the schedule beside the register. Ruby added a doodle of the 3 of them in matching aprons. Below it, she wrote, "Team Hayes Harper, 1 burnt batch at a time." Tyler touched the drawing gently. "She's making us real." Lisa said quietly, "She's making us whole." The next morning, before the bakery opened, Tyler brewed coffee while Ruby played with measuring spoons. Lisa sat across from him, a journal open. "I've been thinking," she said, "we should teach a kids' class here, baking basics, maybe even write down our recipes." Tyler nodded. "You're thinking long-term." Lisa smiled. "I'm thinking future." Ruby ran over with a new creation, a crooked cookie shaped like a star, slightly cracked. She held it up. "Look what I made, Dad." He took it with both hands as if it were gold. "You're a genius," he said. She beamed. "I know." And in that moment, amid sugar, laughter, and the scent of cinnamon, something deeper stirred. They weren't just healing, they were rising, together. The bakery was closed that morning, but inside, sunlight spilled through the front windows, catching dust in the air like glitter. Tyler stood at the prep table, hands dusted with flour, while Ruby arranged a tray of slightly lopsided cookies. She looked up, proud. "Look what I made, Dad." Tyler leaned over, grinning. "Burnt edges. You're keeping the tradition alive." Lisa walked in from the back, apron tied at the waist, a clipboard in hand. "Court's at 2. Tyler nodded. "I know." She watched him press his thumb into a ball of dough, then stop. "You're thinking about her," she said. Tyler looked up. "Judge Alston?" Lisa shook her head. "Your mom." He smiled faintly. "She used to overbake everything, said it was character flavor. She gave me my first burnt cookie when I was 6. I threw it away." Ruby gasped. "No." "She made me dig it out of the trash and eat it anyway," Tyler said, laughing. "Said, we don't waste lessons." Lisa leaned closer. "What do you think this is?" He met her eyes. "A second chance." At the courthouse, Ruby sat between them, holding both their hands. Tyler wore a navy blazer over jeans. Lisa wore a floral dress, and Ruby, a shirt that read, "Bakers make it better." The judge reviewed paperwork, glasses sliding down her nose. "Mr. Hayes, your brother claimed erratic behavior, business abandonment, and family instability. What's your response?" Tyler stood, calm, clear. "I left the board because my daughter called me Dad for the first time, and I realized I'd never built anything that mattered more than that." The judge raised an eyebrow. "And this bakery?" He nodded. "It's more than cookies. It's a community space. It's healing. And it's where I show up, every single day." Lisa stepped forward. "I've watched him. He didn't just come back. He stayed. And that's worth more than any title or stock option." Ruby looked up. "Can I say something?" The courtroom stilled. Judge Alston smiled. "Go ahead, young lady." Ruby stood on tiptoe. "When I first met him, I gave him a burnt cookie, 'cause it was messed up, like our story. But he didn't throw it away. He kept it." She reached into her backpack and held up a plastic case. Inside was that same cookie, still dark on the edges, still wrapped in the same paper towel. "He said it tasted like hope," Ruby said. Judge Alston looked at Tyler. "Is that true?" He nodded. "I still haven't eaten it. It reminds me not to mess this up." The courtroom was quiet for a long moment. Then the judge tapped her gavel. "Custody remains with the mother, but Mr. Hayes, you are granted full visitation rights. You've proven your commitment, burnt edges and all." Ruby squealed. Lisa smiled. Tyler exhaled. Outside the courthouse, they stood on the steps. Ruby jumped into Tyler's arms. "We did it!" she shouted. Tyler hugged her tight. "We really did." Lisa stepped beside them. "So, what now?" Tyler grinned. "Now?" He pulled out a folded blueprint. "A second location, near the park, bigger kitchen, space for classes." Lisa raised a brow. "You already drafted it?" Ruby tugged Lisa's sleeve. "Told you, he's all in." Lisa shook her head, smiling. "One condition." Tyler leaned in. "Anything. We named the oven after your mom, for character flavor." He laughed. "Deal." Ruby held up the plastic case one last time, the cookie crumbling slightly. "Can we put this in a frame?" she asked. "Like history?" Tyler kissed the top of her head. "Yeah, kiddo. Let's make it part of our story." The sun poured through the bakery windows, catching flecks of flour floating midair like snow. It was quiet, before the doors opened, before the laughter and ovens hummed. Just the three of them, together. Tyler tied his apron, now faded pink, batch boss nearly unreadable, and stepped to the counter where Ruby stood, arms crossed like a tiny executive. "All right, team," she said, trying not to smile. "Today, we bake legacy." Lisa raised an eyebrow from the sink. "That wasn't on the calendar." Ruby shrugged. "It's a surprise bake. Special request from Dad." Tyler grinned. "We're making burnt cookies." Ruby gasped. "On purpose?" Lisa paused. "You sure?" Tyler nodded. "One for every year I missed." He reached into a small box and set out a dozen tiny paper flags. Each one had a year scribbled in Ruby's handwriting. Age 1, age 2, all the way to 9. "Let's give them the love they deserved back then," he said. Ruby pressed her lips together, trying not to cry. Then she grabbed a spoon. "Let's burn 'em just right." They worked quietly, carefully. Dough smudged their sleeves, frosting dusted their cheeks. The oven beeped. Ruby opened the door, the warmth rushing out. Lisa pulled out the tray, edges dark, centers soft. Perfect. They placed the cookies in a circle, each one with a flag. Ruby held up the last flag, now, and stuck it in the very center. "Because now is the best batch," she whispered. After cleanup, they walked to the empty lot next to the bakery. The second location hadn't broken ground yet, just dirt and chalk lines. But to Ruby, it was a kingdom. She ran ahead. "This is where the cupcake wall goes, and over here, we put Dad's cookie lab." Tyler laughed. "A whole lab?" "Yeah," she called back, twirling, "for when you want to invent weird stuff like marshmallow jalapeno snickerdoodles." Lisa groaned. "Please, no." Tyler slipped his hand into hers. "We're really doing this." Lisa looked at him. "You already are." That evening, after dinner and dishes, they gathered around the kitchen island at home. Ruby cleared her throat. Family meeting. Tyler and Lisa sat, trying to hold straight faces. Ruby pulled out a folder labeled Hayes Harper Official Family Business. "Item 1, she read. "We bake together every Sunday, no excuses." "Approved," Tyler said. "Item 2, no yelling, unless the cookies fall flat." Lisa nodded. "Reasonable." "Item 3, this house gets a cookie jar, like a real one, no more Ziplocs." Tyler stood, opened a cabinet, and pulled out a box. "Already ahead of you." He set it down and opened it. A round glass jar with a hand-painted lid. The words written in Ruby's handwriting. "Even crumbs belong." Ruby gasped. "You framed my phrase." Tyler smiled. "It's our motto now." She hugged him tight. "We're the crumb champions." Lisa leaned in. "We really are." Later, after Ruby went to bed, Tyler and Lisa sat on the back porch, a soft breeze rustling the trees. "She's happy," Lisa said. "So am I," Tyler replied. They sat in silence a moment. "Do you ever miss the old world?" she asked. "The pace, the launch rooms, the applause?" Tyler thought for a moment. "I used to think success was about platforms and users," he said, "but it's not." Lisa looked over. "It's about moments," Tyler said softly. "Flour on her nose, your smile when the timer dings, a burnt cookie you don't throw away." Lisa reached for his hand. "Then let's bake a future worth remembering." He kissed her fingers. And inside, on the counter next to the sink, the burnt cookies with their little flags sat in a ring, quiet witnesses to everything they'd lost, and everything they were choosing to build again, together.